Alright, what is up you guys? It is Cameron. We're back with Fairly Well. I'm pretty sure we're ending it in this episode. I think it's over. I don't know. There could still be another 30 minutes or an hour left. There could be 5 minutes left. I have no clue. But I think we're ending it in this one because we're reading the letters that were written to us. We read one in the last episode. Now we're going to read the next, I assume, as long as nothing interrupts us or something happens. I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Okay, is this where we are? I don't know. I trace a finger over the now familiar script of Emmeline's handwriting before reading her words. Oh, here we go. I have to move my camera already. I mean, maybe I predicted this and in editing put my camera down like where it should be on bottom already. Maybe the words are already around me. I don't know. We'll see how I did it. Dear young man, I didn't want to believe... Dear young man, I didn't want to believe it was you. Why would you return after just leaving me there? But your face was unmistakable. I'm sure you've heard the expression about not having aged a day. We usually reserve this for women too vain for the truth, or people who've recently had plastic surgery, but in your case, you actually haven't. You looked exactly the same as you had all those years ago. I hadn't expected you to return at all. After you'd left me for a while, I was left to theorize, and I let my imagination run wild. What are you? Some kind of alien in human skin? A super advanced machine? A vampire? And then I remembered one of those things you had talked about. The legend of an eternal wanderer. At the time, I dismissed it as drunken rambling. Then I saw you just yesterday. It had been 2 decades since I'd seen you. Memories fade. But I had my first suspicions when I saw you with Michael. You were helping each other with the audio cables. You might not have even recognized it, but I saw. Clear admiration in your eyes. Admiration and more. Envy? I guess if you were really to live forever, you could never again know childlike wonder and curiosity like Michael could. And then I saw your reflection in the window as I was leaving. I recalled that time when we frolicked around the city in the snow in that moment, and I knew it was you. And now there's the matter of your cover. If you truly intend to work at the hearth and home, then I'll see you again. Believe me, the temptation is very real to reveal you what you are. But what exactly would that solve? No, it's better to let bygones be bygones. I'd gain nothing by revealing you, and it would just cause you to leave again. I'm sure you're used to that process by now. I considered asking you what occurred in your past travels. Who else did you meet? Anyone famous? How long have you been around? The things usual people would ask someone like you. But honestly, the numbers and faces of the past matter less than what you've felt. I've been on the other side of it, your emotions. I know what you felt. I'll admit that I hated you for a while after leaving me on that bench, but now I understand. I forgive you. I hope one day you find a place, or more likely a time, that you can flourish in. With as much loss as I've experienced, yours could only be worse. I wish you the best, stranger. Sincerely, Emmeline. There's not a lot of room for me to put my camera in this page. I wonder where I put myself. Oh, right here. She signed her name in that familiar script. I could feel the pressure of tears welling in my eyes now, wishing I could have spoken to her. If she knew who I was, then I could have apologized for leaving her all alone on that frosty bench decades ago. Clearly, she had cared for me enough to not reveal who I was to everyone. At the very least, I had the privilege of making that kind of connection. The only kind of connection I could truly ever establish. To you. I will write to you once again, and this will be my last. I have grown old and feeble, but alas, you are just as I remember you from all those years ago. I'm sorry that you'll never be able to grow old. My life, my son, and my family, they have given me joy, just as the night we spent together so long ago did. Candace has been filling me in on all the fun I've been missing. I'm so grateful to her for that. I trust that she'll deliver these letters to you when the time is right. We've had our suspicions for a while now that you would probably leave Cedar soon. It always makes me sad thinking of your inevitable departure. It's kind of strange. We've spent so little time together in our lives, but it feels like that time is so very significant. Over all these years, there hasn't been a day that I haven't thought back to the night we first met. I never have been able to understand why. It's just always meant a lot to me. I did recognize you when you came back in '87, though not right away. I'm not really sure why I didn't ever say anything to you. It just never felt like there was a good time to say anything. You had lived 20 more years. I had gotten 20 years older. I got married and had Michael. Looking back, it was just best for me that I did not say anything. It's a strange thing, the connection we seem to have. I would say it's unique, but I can't say for certain whether that is true or not. The time you were a part of my life was indeed brief, but without a doubt that time changed my life. It changed my view of the world. It changed how I see other people. I'm uncertain, but I think these changes were for the better, so I thank you. I also want to thank you for leaving me that night. I enjoyed my normal life. I see now that this is all I ever could have wanted. You saw that it was what I wanted long before I even wanted it. You showed me something special, and you gave me the chance to live the life that was mine. My dearest wanderer, we weren't very good at goodbyes, are we? We aren't very good at goodbyes, are we? But this will indeed be our last. But I have grandchildren that I soon hope to meet, and you have a long road ahead of you, so I'll keep it brief. I want you to remember me as who I was, and to you will now always be. So goodbye, my dear wanderer. Travel safe, travel far and long and wide, and maybe in another life, in a different time, we will meet again. I am speechless. I sit for a while, stirring in my emotions. I feel empty, but in a good way. At an end, but in the best way. I feel complete. After I walk out of the closet, I come across Candace alone. She's the only one left. The bar is empty, silent, and calm, like some place out of a dream. Finished already? Yeah. And you're leaving now? Candace. She begins to cry. You know I have to... Go back. How do I go back? You know I have to do. Okay. She wipes at her eyes with her dirtied hands. I know. There is a silence for a moment before Candace draws in for a hug. She embraces me tightly, her trickling tears soaking into the shoulder of my coat. She trembles, but only a little. I don't want you to go. I have to. You can't leave. We're all still here. I'm sorry. I pull myself away. Goodbye, Candace. I'll miss you. I'll miss you and everyone else. And this dark, dusty old bar. And the sleepy town in the snow. I'll miss it. I'll miss you all. I will. Will you remember us? Always. Thank you. You know, you were like family to us, to my dad, to me, to the bar, to the town. You really were. I want you to remember that, okay? I give Candace one last smile before I turn to the door. She goes back to sweeping, not wanting to watch me leave. She takes a deep breath. Tears drip from her eyes onto the floor. Okay. Once outside, I take a final stroll around the town, Cedar, Maine. At first glance, it all seems so asleep. Like it's not alive, but only lays there in a state of constant rest. But that couldn't be more wrong. This town was more alive than any other I have seen. The white snow resting on the frozen ground glowed like the stuff of dreams. I've fallen in love over the years with this town, with this dream. But it's time to wake up. I walk away into the wilderness as the sun rises over the trees. I vanish like a ghost from a dream, wiping tears from my eyes. All I leave behind are footprints in the snow that are soon swept away by the winter wind. All of the money that I had, I spent it in good company. And of all the harm that I've done, alas, was done to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I cannot recall. So fill me to the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. So fill me that parting glass, and drink a health whatever befalls. Then gently rise and softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Of all the comrades that era had, they're sorry for my going away, and all of the sweethearts that era I had, they wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls upon my lot that I should rise while you should not, I will gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Fare thee well, the story of a lonely man, a wanderer, a wayfarer, a stranger, and a sleepy town he left in the snow, one winter night. Watercress! So, that's Fare Thee Well. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Wow. Amazing. I really enjoyed it. It was a good story, and it was very interesting and heartwarming and also heartbreaking all at the same time, but in a good way, I guess. That was great. I'm happy to have played and read through that. So it was a good experience, and I enjoyed making videos on it and having this little section of my channel. I really liked doing a visual novel. It was an interesting change of pace from just like gaming stuff, like normal gaming stuff, like of a game that isn't a visual novel, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So maybe I'll do more in the future. Maybe I'll do Doki Doki Literature Club, since everyone loves that and it's very popular. I honestly don't know much about it because I never watched anyone play it. I know it was super popular like a year ago or so, but I actually never watched it, so I don't know anything about it. So maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do some other random, smaller indie type ones like Fare Thee Well was. I don't know, but I did enjoy this, and I hope you guys did as well. And I also hope that you have a swell day.